Malice Television presents Malice presents Darryl, Swann, Moshpit Studios.
Hello, my name is Darryl Swann, and I'm a record producer, songwriter, mastering engineer, mixing engineer. Won a Grammy with Macy, video game director, lecturer, book author. I do a little bit of everything. Launching an internet music concert creation platform in 2021. Been working on that since 2016. We're getting ready to go and answering a couple questions here. First question is examples of adversaries I've had to face that made me a better person. Yes, being too nice and expecting people to do the right thing. That was my biggest adversary. That was my biggest downfall. Assuming that people had my back and they didn't. And going through a really horrible bankruptcy, grossing over $1.5 million, around 2000 in the year 2000, and losing it all, expecting others to have my back and take care of people. Also doing free work for people, doing spec work. I tell my students, when you do spec work, expect not to get paid. So you have to do spec work to build your resume, but at a certain point you have to, you have to look out for yourself. So yeah, being too nice, thinking others have your back, and not keeping your eye on the ball. That's question one. Question number two, what made you want to be involved in the music entertainment business, and how long have you been involved? So I've been in the music industry for 33 years. I came out here with a heavy metal band. I was a heavy metal lead guitarist in 1986. Opened up at the Troubadour, which is a popular club in LA. Opened up for Warrant and Poison before they were signed. And a couple years after moving out here, I started working in a recording studio and literally lived at that recording studio for literally about 3 years. Slept over the mixing boards. The only place it was warm, and where there wasn't cocaine or Hennessy spilled on the floor. So I had to sleep on the mixing boards. It would work for like 3 days straight. That was in 1988. So I learned how to produce, engineer, and create beats with drum machines at that point. So yeah, 33 years as a producer, mixer, engineer, and master engineer. Question number three. What made you, I understand you are an instructor and mentor. What made you decide to take that approach? So after I went through a bankruptcy in 2000, made all this money in 2000, went through a bankruptcy in 2005, I lost everything, and so I started teaching around 2007 at Musicians Institute in Hollywood, and then I moved over to UCLA. I've been teaching UCLA for the last 12 years, and the reason why I started teaching in 2007 is I wanted to plug back in, because I was so plugged in. I was working with Rick Rubin and will.i.am and Macy and Stevie Wonder and all this stuff between 1999 and 2004. Music industry dried up due to file sharing. I lost all my money. I thought people had my back, and so lost everything, got out of the loop, lost all my connections. Started teaching in 2007 to really plug back in to the music industry. So just getting the young spirited energy of the students. I was able to share my stab wounds and bullet holes with them, and they were able to share their high spirit for the music industry. I was jaded, they weren't. So it was a great reciprocation. Question four, can I talk about some of the companies and the job roles that I've worked with? I have a publishing deal with Sony ATV Music. Did a $550,000 publishing deal with them in 2001. Right after the Macy Gray 1 record came out. I've worked with Sony Music Universal Records, Island Def Jam, tons of labels. Got too many to recall right now, but all the majors. Done something with all the majors, either mixing or mostly producing, though producing and engineering. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, Zamba music, just a few others, but pretty much touched them all. They're all good. Question number 5. Would you be more inclined to do an interview with the students if part of a publication such as Marquee Who's Who in America? Why or why not? I'm not real familiar with Marquee Who's Who in America. I know it's a famous publication. You know, all press is good press. I feel whether it be bad or good in this day and age. But you know, I'm an open book. I like sharing. I'm a giver, not a taker. I'm not trying to toot my horn. It's just who I am. So I like sharing. I like seeing the lights come on in people's eyes when I teach mixing and mastering, and you break down something like compression into simple terms that someone gets, and you see the lights come on. You know, you've taught a man to fish. Instead of giving them a fish, you've taught them how to fish. Therefore, they can feed themselves for the rest of their lives. So it really gives me a charge just knowing that I can you know, impart some information, some of my experience to others, and just, you know, enable them to, you know, evolve and, you know, further their craft. So yeah, being listed in a publication, those are always great. Absolutely. It's always flattering too. Question number 6. What's your decision regarding an artist management project that you may or may have not regret? What would you have done differently? So I'm really not an artist manager, but I've been a de facto artist manager, meaning a lot of people that I've produced, I end up giving them tons and tons of management advice and really help them guide their career. So, or just at least, you know, so that being said, I don't really have any regrets because, you know, I like seeing people that I work with, you know, evolve and, you know, mature and grow. So, you know, I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of stab wounds and bullet wounds. And so if I'm able to share some of those with someone that can get something out of it, then those stab wounds weren't in vain. Number 7, what are some of the biggest differences you have seen in the business from the days of analog tape to the digital era? So I'm one of the lucky ones that kind of bridged the gap between analog and digital. So DAWs really got popular in 99, 2000. So I started in 1986, so I have I started in 88, so I have 12 years of analog, and then I have now 20 years of digital. So I was really one of the lucky ones to have been born at a certain time where I straddle. I was able to align tape machines and work with tape, and, you know, understand tape is really an art medium. It's not a literal medium like digital is. Digital is yes, no, on, off. I'm distorted, I'm not distorted. Where tape, it depends on how hard the electrons are hitting the tape. It can splat in different ways, therefore give you different tonal qualities. Now, obviously, we got plugins that, you know, simulate that, but there's really something about tape. So it's a real shame that the biggest thing I would say is that the old saying, which is I'm not harping this because I'm a huge Pro Tools user and love digital media, but I love producing bands also. The biggest thing I've seen is that people that are making stuff, people that make beats think they are producers. So to produce is a verb, but a producer is a noun. So yeah, anyone can produce a beat, but it doesn't mean you're a producer per se. I'm not dissing anybody. Also, a lot of people that work only in the box, they always hit a glass, seem to hit a glass ceiling, because when it's like, oh, how do I record a guitar? Oh, how do I record a vocal? You know, that's the biggest thing that I see people, you know, really dope, you know, beat boys and people that make dope ass tracks in the box, but they don't understand what a mic pre does, or how it works, or how how you insert a compressor before tape, so you don't, you know, distort tape with the mic, different mics. So it's a little too much living in the box and relying on technology to achieve certain objectives, as opposed to understanding what's happening below the hood at a low level. Why that insert is being placed there, why the EQ comes before the compressor, or vice versa, this or that. That's what I've seen. Number 8, what is the most awkward, funny situation ever? I shouldn't say this, but Had a meeting with the president of a major label. President of a major label. President of a major label. Trust me when I say that. One day, so the night before, I thought it'd be a good idea to go like party like really hard. Party really hard. And so the party went into the next morning. And so here it is, half an hour from when I'm supposed to be at the studio to meet this president, and I'm still partying. So I show up at the studio and try and play it off like I just, got out of the dance room. But obviously everyone's all for that, except me. I laugh about that now. It was pretty humiliating at the time, but it's one of those things you go through and learn. You live and learn. Number 9. What advice would I give someone wanting to follow in my footsteps? Don't do it! Run! You gotta be a little bit insane, actually. You gotta really have a little bit of insanity and be a little OCD. Be a bit of a masochist, I'd say. But I would say this, if you want to follow in footsteps, do. If you say you're a producer, then produce. Don't wait for someone to ask you to produce, or don't require to be paid. Do things on spec. Like I said, spec means speculative or speculation, but it really means expect not to get paid. But do spec work, because by producing, what's going to happen is you're going to build networks, you're going to build connections, you're going to strengthen your craft on someone else's dime, even if you're not getting paid. And say yes to every opportunity. Say yes to every opportunity. Doesn't mean you have to do every opportunity, but just say yes, and then as the opportunity draws closer, you have the option of always bailing, but at least you've had the opportunity to explore. A lot of people say no before investigating, so say yes to everything and check it out. Don't take anything for granted, because the guy in the corner that looks like the dustiest guy in the room could be the most important guy. I've had that happen probably 10 times in my life. Don't take anybody for granted.
Thanks for watching.